I think the focus is on Matthews, getting that storyline going again. Like with the injury and the way he's come back, a little bit staggered in terms of putting up numbers. I mean, they've been more or less non-existent, which is going to happen. You're going to run into it from time to time. But if you want to stay in that heart race, if you want to stay up with the big boys in terms of the Rocket and own it, which is what he was on pace to do, you got to get going again.
Yeah,
you can't have 4 or 5 games where you just don't put anything on the board.
We saw with Russell Wilson this year during the NFL season, he was like an automatic slam dunk MVP. And then he just went south for 3 weeks in a row, and it was like he wasn't even mentioned the rest of the year.
Out of the conversation.
Out of the conversation. Allen took over. Your boy Rodgers, who ultimately won it, Mahomes, it was like this guy was the front runner for, 6-7 weeks?
Okay.
And gone.
You know who Rodgers is in the NHL version is Patrick Kane.
That's exactly who he is. Old school guy who was on a team that was 1,000 games, a little bit forgotten over the last couple of years because of the team.
Right.
The team wasn't helping him because they wrote a letter saying we're basically tanking, and here he comes. And it's like Patty Kane is going to continue to push you in the right direction and keep you in the hunt. His team's got to make the playoffs, though. His history would tell you.
I agree.
To win the Hart, you got to get in. And, as of right now, Chicago, I believe, is in a playoff spot. And it kind of feels like there's some separation. I'm looking at that division now. Detroit's done. Dallas, they haven't played enough games, but they're not playing well.
They haven't been playing well. But you're right. They haven't been able to get into a groove. I think Nashville's not there.
I don't see Nashville, and I think Columbus is finally running into the talent issue that they've had for years. Some injury problems at times.
They're done.
Doesn't feel good. So, Chicago basically – Chicago's got 30 games left. They go 500. They're probably getting in. If they get in and Kane is top 3 in points, I think he's going to win it. Like the narrative is going to come in. The narrative's going to come in. Shocking. Can't believe they did it. How are they doing it? No Jonathan Taves, right? Yeah. And there's Showtime putting up just astronomical
numbers. A guy like
Austin
Matthews would have to have an overwhelming goal total and at least would have to remain at the top, one of the top teams in the league, to surpass a guy like Kane if he did that.
Right, because I think we all agree, and even Hayes, I don't know if you've changed, but like McDavid is the incumbent for you, and Matthews has to overtake him. That's what your narrative was.
Yes, based on McDavid's reputation as, in my opinion, the best player in the world.
Right, and so McDavid's right there, Matthews, but I've got Patty Kane right there too. Like and just on the stuff that you just talked about, Brian. And it's even a stronger narrative, because Edmonton's a playoff team right now. We don't know how that – and Toronto's been at the top. Exactly.
Yeah. Like Chicago was supposed to be a dumpster fire based on their own words.
Right.
Like letters to the fan base. Watch yourself. Pain is coming. And Patrick Kane decided it's not. Although it's not only him, clearly. They found a goaltender. There's a lot going on there. Joining us now on the Maple Toyota hotline here is Ray Ferraro. Ray, we just kind of stumbled across that Patrick Kane might be playing the NHL's version of Aaron Rodgers, where, great player, long-standing stud, lost in the shuffle for a couple of years because the team took a bit of a step back. Team was supposed to not be so great, not necessarily helping him out, just like the Packers weren't necessarily helping out Rodgers. And all of a sudden, look at Chicago. They make the playoffs. Kane's top 2 or 3 in points. That narrative is going to be tough to vote against if you're looking at the Hart in about 2 or 3 months.
If they can if their goaltending can somehow hold up, and and they can win at the rate that they are, which you mentioned nobody really thought, including themselves, that they would be in the mix. And don't forget, they lost Kirby Dach at the World Junior Tournament.
Right.
Like, he was supposed to be one of their top 2 centers. And, as a result, they find Pius Suter, he's a Swiss kid who's had a terrific start to his rookie year. They found Dominik Kubalik last year, who scored 30 goals. He was 3rd in the Rookie of the Year. Philip Kurashev, I think, was a 4th-round pick. And so all of these guys have kind of jumped and popped out for them, yet you need the ringleader, right? And the ringleader is Kane. And in particular, without Taves there to add some, the veteran It's more than presence. I mean, you've got to play. I mean, you can have veteran presence and be no good, but you've got to have that presence. And Taves isn't there, and it's Kane. And man, he's just amazing with the way that he plays, the points percentages that he puts up. The points per game. It's an amazing thing to watch.